Hi, I'm Figment, and today we are going to finish our last video in the Subtractor series. We've kind of reasonably gone over, I wouldn't say in depth, but we've talked about all the sections on the front of the Subtractor synth. Now we're going to turn around and go over the back of the Subtractor synth. Now, I'm assuming that you know the difference between CV signals and audio signals. If you don't, that's fine. I'm planning to make a video very soon, kind of going in depth on the difference between CV signals and audio signals. So if you don't, that's okay. You can always circle back here and watch this video after that one, and I'm sure it'll make a lot more sense. But anyway, let's get through this. The Subtractor, as I told you in the first video, is a mono synth, so it only has one out. It is not its output is not in stereo. All these other inputs and outputs are all CV signals. So we'll go from left to right. You have your sequencer controls, gate input and CV input. So if you had something like the matrix pattern sequencer, it's kind of automatically auto-routed there, but you could run it into that sequencer control and should be getting some type of is that one? Yep. Yeah. So now you are getting, sequencer control. So that's the kind of purpose of the sequencer control section. You have this mod input section, which basically lets you have the CV signal of some other device affect any of these parameters inside of this subtractor. Those being oscillator pitch, oscillator phase, FM amount, filter 1 frequency, filter 1 res, filter 2 frequency, amp level, mod wheel, and pitch wheel. Keep in mind that when you do route something externally into this modulation input, the amount knob on whatever that other device is, let's just say, I'll just do a subtractor, the amount knob on that other device is not going to be the amount knob on the input you've trying to modulate. The trim knob, these knobs here next to them, will take over and override the amount knob of whatever it is you're using. So just keep that in mind. You have these mod output sections, which offers the outputs available to send somewhere else, the mod sources available to send somewhere else, and those are the mod envelope, the filter envelope, and LFO1. Wonder where LFO2 is. It's not there. Kind of weird. But yes, these are your modulation output sources you could send somewhere else. Next you have this gate input section, which is kind of interesting. Basically, your amp envelope, filter envelope, and mod envelope all respond to gated gate inputs to start. If you remember this graph here about ADSR, well, the gate is triggered when a MIDI note is passed through. So when this playhead goes across this note, that would be a key down. The gate is now open, and your ADSR begins. Your attack time, sustain level, and release time begins. And when the key up is ended or the gate is closed, that's when your release time starts. So the gate basically dictates when the envelope starts and kind of when the envelope finishes. Now this gate input will override the gate input gate open and closed values of the notes. So let's just show you what that means. So we have these kind of long chords, and right now the chord, the envelopes, the filter envelope is responding to the gate value of the notes themselves. So you kind of hear that envelope working, and it will not close until it ends here, and then it starts again. But if we took the gate information from, well, it could be anything, could have even been a redrum. Let's even try that. Take the gate information from, let's say, a redrum. You could also use the matrix pattern sequencer. I just want to show you that it could be the gate information from anything. Let's say filter envelope. Let me put in some gate values. Right? Now, instead of that envelope being open or closed or responding to the gate information of these notes, it's going to respond to the gate information of this first drum slot. So let's see what that sounds like. But you can definitely hear that pulsing and starting with the this gate information here. So the same thing applies to the amp envelope or the mod envelope, which kind of weird. And if we took this off, so yep, those are your kind of CV inputs and outputs for either sending some control setting somewhere, controlling the sequencer, or using some type of a mod output, or sorry, mod input, or some kind of a gate input. It's kind of the back in a nutshell. I would definitely play around with that and see what you can control using something else. You'd be surprised at different types of effects you can get outside of just using your LFO 1 and 2 and mod envelope and filter envelope. Anyway, that about wraps it up. We are done. I hope you enjoyed this a brief look at the Subtractor, and hopefully it gave you a more insightful or a better understanding of just what this synth is capable of. Anyway, have some fun, experiment, and I will talk to you later.